Welcome back to the Stay Grounded podcast, your weekly dose. We have Philip.
We're back at it.
We have Joshua.
Hope everybody had a happy Ash Wednesday, Valentine's Day, or all of the above.
Valentine's.
Valentine's.
Made sure of it this time.
And we have yours truly, myself, Brandon. Welcome back. Look, first things first, really appreciate all of your support, comments, likes, shares, everything that you guys have done to support the first visual podcast. So, massive props and round of applause to you guys, seriously.
The
For
clips
real.
popped off. I don't know what we did wrong with the second clip, the engagement. So the first clip that I posted, I think we got like 1,000 views on Reels, 500 on TikTok, 700 on YouTube in like the first like 12 hours or something.
Wow.
The second clip, the TikTok hit like 10 views today.
Everyone
So we
was,
really bombed with that one.
everybody was busy, mate. It was good weather, so everyone was out shopping.
No one cared about the streamers. No one cared
Yeah,
about...
we will not talk about live streaming
No.
anymore.
Look, we're still,
Working it out as we go.
we may be quite a few episodes in, but for us, we're still learning. We're still trying to get better at it, and this is a whole learning process. But the beauty of it is you guys get to be on this journey with us, and when we're rich and famous one day,
One day.
these you're talking from a current experience, Josh.
You mean tomorrow?
When you're rich and famous
Mate,
tomorrow,
we'll wake up the same.
you guys will know that you've been here right from the beginning. So, massive shout out to you guys. Before we kick into it, important, we're reaching and closing in on 100 followers on the Instagram.
We're at 80 something.
Incoming.
87 or 83?
I think 83.
83.
Incoming.
So, look, the closer we get to it, the closer we get to the giveaway. Just to reiterate, it's a random spin the wheel sort of competition once we hit 100. Any one out of 100 followers, apart from, all of us four, including Aaron, who helped with the production of the podcast, is in to win a free t-shirt.
Yeah, we'll probably do a grid post where you need a like and comment. And I think
100%.
We'll do it that way.
17 followers, boys, away.
Something like that.
Well, almost
we can
there.
hit that before the next episode.
And I just want to stress, this isn't some rubbish merchandise. It's actually really high quality.
Heavyweight.
Yeah.
Very heavy.
We've put a lot of time and
Is
effort
it?
into it.
I've felt the garments.
Do you have them already?
Well, yeah, with the t-shirts we all have.
Yeah, isn't that what I'm wearing right now?
Yeah.
It's not heavyweight. It's a very breathable material with a nice boxy fit.
Very midweight. Very comfortable.
If Aaron wants to put the camera on me right now, I'm
Pose.
wearing it without our logo on it.
Are we offering it in
For
both
reference.
black and white, or are we going to pick one colour?
Look, we will ask the winner what color they want. It's completely up to the winner.
They can customize.
What were the options? Anything?
Well, we'll let the winner know what color options we have available to us at the time, and then it's up to them what color, slate they want, if you want to use that word, and then we'll get it made specifically for them. So, whoever the winner is, know that you guys are getting it made specifically for you, whereas,
That's cool.
everybody else, if they wish to purchase one, will be just off what we have in terms of our stock.
And what kind of sizes are we offering to the fans?
Any size they want, small, medium, large, extra large, we have quite a wide size range. So,
For sure.
Something
whatever
for
works.
everybody.
They're an oversized fit as well.
Oversized fit, but we'll get into that when
Size down,
you know-
recommended fitting.
when we approach on 100. I'm hoping by this time next week when we upload the next podcast, hopefully we're at least around 90, and then
110.
let's do it.
Sheesh.
Let's have the giveaway up and running by next week.
Shoot for the
100%.
stars,
Let's
land
share,
on the
let's
moon, mate.
comment, let's go.
So, once again, just a thank you to everyone who's supporting in these beginning phases. It really means a lot for us. It's the engagement's huge, and give us your feedback, things you're enjoying, things you're not enjoying. We're a very open and honest team. We want to hear things that are working, things that aren't working. It helps us be better. So no criticism is bad criticism.
It's life changing. I never thought I'd have a podcast with 80 followers.
Yeah, 80, and not only 80 followers, but we're getting just a little insight for you guys. It's consistent listeners as well.
Oh, the engagement's awesome.
Like-
Analytics wise, we're exceeding
In my week, whether it's in my
benchmark numbers.
full-time job or my second job or even just my friendship groups, people are talking about the fact that they're listening to it.
Yeah.
That's it. Can't leave the house without being recognised these days. It's tough out here.
It's getting to a point where we've got to say no to photos and stuff, isn't it?
I'm sorting out my security just to help me with things. It's been rough.
Look, a lot has happened in this last week. There's been some major, events in the world and things that the social media and the world has been focusing on. We're going to touch on all of that. But just as a disclaimer, this episode we're hoping to get not hoping, but we also will get a little more deep.
Deep.
Yeah, part of what I wanted to do was kind of
Going to China.
give you guys an understanding of what kind of how we think in our personal selves as well. So as much as we're going to talk about just the regular stuff, we're also going to kind of give our life experiences and have a bit of a more vulnerable side to us this week. So, just a heads up. As we always
Grab some
say,
tissues.
hey,
Grab some tissues.
yeah, you might need to grab some tissues, but more importantly, I ask you to kind of think for yourself and really, hopefully, the conversations we have today can help form some opinions that you have and whatnot. So, as we always say each week, whether you're driving or you're eating or you're on your lunch break or you're just relaxing,
Or drinking.
yeah, or drinking,
Like Brandon.
lock in. We're here for an hour and we're here to just chill with you and keep you some company. Look, starting off, something that was a highlight of my last week, or this last week, was the Super Bowl.
Did you watch it?
A highlight of
I
your
did. I
week.
watched pretty much the whole Super Bowl, give and take in between work.
I was very proud of you. You were trying to tune in. Went from not knowing what was happening to really supporting the team. So
Was that the first one you watched?
First NFL game I've ever watched.
Oh, that's
sorry,
cool. Yeah.
For very first, I did some research and I was asking these two, and it was quite entertaining to start with. But I learned a
man,
lot
it's
about the
awesome.
sport. I knew nothing before.
I love
and a
it, bro.
very good game for the first as well.
100%.
Absolutely amazing game of
Insane.
football.
From obviously, I have a very base understanding, and Phil actually plays flag.
Yeah, I mean, flag's obviously a scaled game, but I think the nuances are very different. Like, it's not obviously some skills and stuff transfer over, but I don't know the NFL because I know flag. Like, I just want to make that. I'm a very casual fan. I don't know football like I know basketball.
For those
Like
who
brother
don't,
and sister sports. Like still
Yeah.
the connection there, but it's still its own thing.
for those who don't know what flag is, it's like would you say like a slight deviation off what the NFL is?
Yeah, so it's a scaled game of gridiron. So the field's 40 yards. It's 5 aside. So you got your center, you got QB, and then like 3 receivers. And you wear like flags on your hips that you pull instead of tackles. It's like a non-contact version. It's sick though. Like it gave me a good reason to start watching the NFL again because I used to be like right in tune with it. And then a couple of years ago, I kind of stopped watching as much. But I've been following it a lot more since I started playing.
And it is the newest Olympic sport.
Olympic sport's
we'll
going to be in LA.
We'll see that in the
Yeah.
Olympics.
Wow.
I think this year. Wow.
Oh, is it in? I thought it was at LA in 28 or 32, whenever the LA
No, I
ones
think
are.
it's in.
No, 32 is Brisbane.
I think it's in.
Oh, then 28.
I think
in LA.
it's in somewhere in Europe that we won't name this year.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that.
But yeah, next one's in LA. So
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's
we'll have the
I
gold
mean,
medal.
flag and gridiron are like one of the fastest growing sports now in our state right now. It's
I was about to say,
crazy.
I've
It's
heard from you
growing.
that it's one of the fastest growing sports in our nation,
Man.
or just state.
Could be the nation, but I know Queensland specifically. It's like taken off, bro.
From what I saw, there's an Australian NRL player who plays for the Chiefs. Or no, the 49ers.
There's a few Aussies that translate
A
over,
lot of AFL players and NRL players retire in the AFL.
and they become like
and
punters.
then they become punters because
Yeah.
you can play that sport a lot later in life. I think the 49ers punter for the Super Bowl team was Australian. Is Australian.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very good punter, and they do very well because obviously we can kick 50 meters with ease in Australia here, and a 50-yard punt is probably the furthest you'll need to be able to hit consistently. So translates well, but was a great game of football. Final score 25-22 to the Chiefs. Overtime win. Longest Super Bowl game of all time. Second ever overtime game.
Why did the 49ers pick offense first in OT?
The coach said after the game he forgot the rules
Did he?
because it's the first Super Bowl with the new rules, I believe.
Yeah, well, I saw him say that they wanted the opportunity to go third if it was tied up and goes to sudden death.
I don't
But it's
know. He
like-
shouldn't have.
Well, you just
Um,
want to give yourself an opportunity to get a stop first so you know
There's
what
no
you're doing on your
advantage
drive.
to taking the ball first.
Yeah.
And for those who aren't aware, the game went to overtime, which means they play a new period. They do a new coin toss, and the winner of that toss gets to pick if they want to receive or defend first possession. And with the new rules this year in this Super Bowl, even if you score off the first possession, the other team then gets a possession to rebuttal and score as well, where previously just the first person to score would end the game. So now if you get a rebuttal, there is no reason to not defend first because you get a chance to score, see what's happening, stuff like that.
And if it's a tie after the 2 drives, it goes to sudden death. So
and then it becomes the original rules.
yeah, so the 49ers thought that they would give themselves the opportunity to go third and they could score on that, but only ending with a field goal. It was just,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not a football expert, but I think even saw, like, did you see Mahomes' reaction on
There
the
is.
coin
That's what I was
toss?
going to bring up. Very viral clip now of Mahomes looking very shocked that the 49ers picked the ball first.
Yeah, like his face is lit. I don't know if you've seen the clip, Brand. His
No, I
face lit
haven't.
up when they said they want to take the ball first.
He lost the toss.
Like, as in, like, he was shocked that they said
Yeah,
that?
so the 49ers won the coin toss and they
Yeah.
said they want to attack.
Instantly knew he was like ready to go. Like he was like, yeah, this is
Yeah,
us.
like,
We've got this.
His face just said, I just want another Super Bowl.
Wow.
It was
There's no
crazy.
advantages to taking the ball first now.
Well, you guys just got a really good insight into what people who watch the sport know about the NFL. For me personally, my highlight of the NFL, or what I really understood, was the halftime show,
Yeah.
which was,
Yeah.
as everyone knew, was Usher. I got some thoughts on it, man. Like, look,
Far away.
he performed the songs that I thought he'd perform, and deep down there were a couple of songs that I thought he would perform that he just didn't even touch on.
Well, a brother's got so many hits. Like he can't put all of them in. So
He does.
he did a good job, all things considered. But there was a couple there I was a bit blown away. He didn't include.
It wasn't for our generation, the Usher show.
I agree.
That's for
and that's
sure.
like that one was for the aunties.
Like, look, when I look at Usher singly, and that's kind of the songs that he's done by himself, the one song I was really shocked that he didn't perform was DJ Got Us Falling in Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
But I think for the generation that was meant to receive that, like they got the songs that they wanted. Like
Yeah.
I think DJ Got Us Falling in Love is big for us because of that Minecraft one.
I thought he was going to
I'm
bring
not-
Captain Sparkles out. That would have been huge.
I've not even thought about
I'm
that.
disappointed he didn't bring JB. I saw that
He
he reached
offered.
out to him, and yeah, JB said he wasn't feeling it. But I know
Yeah.
there's apparently some stuff from when JB was a kid, like the whole relationship ain't all that.
Oh, so he actually reached out to JB.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, "Oh, no, I'm not."
And
feeling
bro
it."
was in the crowd. Everyone's like, Justin Bieber's going to come out, but he was sitting up in the suite with his wife.
Man, I had my purple Supras ready with my Belieber graphic tee.
I went to bed the night before wearing it. Like,
No, for real.
So I was sitting at work in my office with one of my one of the girls who were in my team, and she came into my office for the halftime show because we were both like crossing our fingers, praying that JB would be brought out. Obviously, and we watched the whole halftime show, and I got to the last song, and I remember looking at her and going, oh, "I think this is like the last one," and we were holding out in so much hope that just maybe he brings up Justin Bieber for that final song, but he didn't, and I can't lie, I was quite disappointed.
so was I.
I didn't I wanted to see JB, but I didn't expect it because I think I said to you when we were talking about before the thing, like I've heard stuff about like when JB wasn't a kid, whether it was Usher or some other people he collaborated with, there was like a bunch of shit where like he doesn't really want to be associated with them apparently.
And he brought out the roller skates. That made up for it. Not roller blades, roller skates. Let's not get it twisted.
I thought he was going to open with Yeah, and I was disappointed when he didn't.
So did I.
But then like the timing was so good because they did Turn Down for What, and I was like, why are we listening to like I thought that shit was whack.
Legit, dude.
Where did that
And then
even
went
come
straight
from?
into
He
that.
pulled Lil Jon on the stage. And
Bro, he had Ludacris, he had Alicia
Bruh.
Keys, bro. The features were sick.
I didn't think he'd open with Yeah, because Yeah, you have to keep for like, sort of a climax of the performance, because that's the one that everyone knows, right?
But when you look at like previous Super Bowl performances, like they start out
Yeah, you do
hot.
one big one at the start.
Lil Jon coming out completely threw me off. I forgot he existed. Shout out Lil Jon. He does have some bangers, but I completely forgot that man existed.
Yeah, look, he really contributed, I reckon.
He did, yeah.
But
I think Will.i.am was in it too. With the
Will.i.am
helmet.
was
as a
there?
whole, it was like, this would have banged 15 years ago.
I'm not gonna lie though, aside from me being disappointed that JB wasn't there, which is sort of an independent variable on itself, if I'm judging the performance itself, I actually really enjoyed it.
I think it was one of
Yeah.
the better ones. It's like I don't think anything's topping that 22 Super
No,
Bowl
oh my
with
goodness.
So with the
Dre,
Drake,
Snoop,
50 Cent,
yeah.
Eminem,
Kendrick, and
yeah.
Like, I don't think anything's beaten that just because of like the set, the
The
performances,
time period as well,
the
with the
timing,
messages they
the
were trying to
impact.
portray.
Yeah, like that was sick. But Riri had a crazy one. They just get better and
Yeah,
better over the
Rihanna
last
last
few
year
years.
was pretty good. Like, again,
Yeah.
nothing's too special. She played it pretty safe, but like, she just has good songs, so it slapped.
Did we talk last episode about JB doing the NHL All-Star game?
I think we mentioned his contract briefly in the hockey, but not that like he played. He's very good at hockey.
Yeah.
He was like being scouted before taking up music full time by the NHL.
His performance was sick though, the NHL. Like it was just good to see him perform
He's
again.
performing again. It's so weird.
Bro, about time. Like I know he's got his shit, but I like him as a performer dog. Like he's just
Forgot
he's
about
cool.
him.
In terms of performance, not only did I really enjoy Usher's because, I don't know, for me when I watch newer performances, it's kind of a very similar theme, and maybe it's just me being pessimistic about it, but when I see performances now, even at the Grammys, there's a lot of dark themes. Things are very dark and like black, and I just feel like things are quite, like red sort of thing, which is not a bad thing.
What do you mean by dark? Like,
like
physically, like the lights are down, or like
like
negative
lights down.
messages?
It's not. I mean, maybe it's just the stuff that I see, but I don't see things as being like a lot like promoting sort of a uplifting sort of a.
Well, the 22 Super
vibe?
Bowl was like all white, like the set.
Yeah. So aside
the
from the
trailers
Super
and
Bowl,
shit.
which is leading to what I'm saying is, I really like the Usher one because it was very 2000s, and the fact that like
it was very
it
nostalgic.
took you back, like the rollerblading, and even the fact that his was sort of 50-50, if not a little bit more dancing than actually singing.
Yeah.
It's
was
very, like a lot of dancing.
really dope,
Which
really
led
dope.
to a few mishaps from the dancers, which was funny.
Yeah, one of them got seriously hurt from that though. I don't know
Yeah, I
if you
saw
the
her. She made a TikTok about
Yeah.
her face is black. Someone fell off a pole. Like,
Yeah, that's rough.
You know who I think should headline?
yeah,
for
this
the
is what I
halftime
was going
show
to
next
say.
week.
If we all
next
had
year.
one person, who are we going to pick as who should do the Super Bowl next year?
You gonna go Phil first, Phil? Or?
Let me think while you guys go. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
you
trying
had
to-
one. You go.
I think what would be an awesome performance in terms of music and even special guests is Pitbull.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna laugh for a second, but that would go kind of hard.
Pitbull would go so hard.
that would be good.
I just want to be able to take it serious. You know what I mean?
He's a really good performer. I don't know if you've seen or done much research about his
He's
performances.
got enough
but
hits where like it would be like, yeah, this is
he's
banging.
great. I just like if I was watching the Super Bowl and Pitbull came out, like I don't think I'd be able to keep it together.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it'd be great.
Pitbull's my guy. I would hope that in a perfect world he comes out next year.
What do you got, Josh?
Well, there's so many like major artists that you could pick that haven't done one, but actually you had a pretty big pop artist, so I think for hip hop, I think Lil Wayne should get one.
Yes, bro.
Like imagine just like the
Yes.
lighter flick before the concert, and he comes up from the bottom of the stage,
What would he start with? A milli?
6'7", maybe.
Because like I say, you got to come in hot. It's
you
got to
have
be
to
something
start with a
everyone
big
knows.
song, and it has to be like a throwback. Like, oh, everyone knows this one. You wouldn't pull a new song out.
Because where did he perform last? That was big. He did the ESPYs, and I think that was a milli that he opened.
It'd be a
with.
million. You end with what, 6 foot?
What
Yeah.
would be his biggest song? A Millie Bedrock would be.
I think. I mean, he's.
And he'd
Are you
bring.
talking his song or features?
Because
Yeah,
he could
that's
bring
not really
Drake
his
and Nicki
song.
Minaj out for a few of those bangers. That would be sick.
Bro, they could do Forever.
Forever.
Bring
would be
Eminem back.
massive.
Yeah, hell yeah. Bring Kanye out.
I think for mine, because I try and think of people that haven't done before. Because I think 50 would be sick, but he obviously
Yeah.
featured.
It has to be like a mainstream artist too. Like people that don't necessarily know that the artist needs to at least know a couple of the songs.
Well, I think with the NFL as well, because they've obviously got like a lot of ground to make up with the racial injustice stuff. They push for black artists, which I'm huge for. So I think they got to keep going that way. Like I said, 50 would be sick. I don't know if you guys have seen like even the shows 50 does within the last couple of years. Like
He just finished an Australian tour. It looks sick.
insane.
He's like old as hell and he's still cooking.
He doesn't look old though. He looks really
Nah, bro.
really
He's
healthy
like
for his
nearly-
age, right?
He's nearly 50.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick someone that hasn't done one, honestly, Cole.
Yeah, J.
Yeah, he's
Cole.
good enough as well.
I just based that
Oh.
off the remember the 2019 All-Star game in Charlotte where he did the
I do
halftime.
remember.
Yeah,
Yes.
And he came out with Middle Child,
Yeah.
and he did No Role Models. All this, like that was sick. I think full
It'd be
15
good.
minutes with a Super Bowl
Because
budget
he's got
for the
15
set.
minutes of like popular, massive songs. Like it
sure.
would just flood.
For sure.
On the
It's in
topic,
New Orleans next year, so not as big as Las Vegas, but still
Oh,
like party.
they got to get Wayne if it's in.
New Orleans.
like
100%.
it'd be silly not to offer him.
On the topic of music, big news in the music game. Big news for Josh and I, who are very big Kanye fans. But Vultures came out last Saturday, randomly.
Yeah, it came out a day late, so I reckon it was early Saturday. Late Saturday for us, early Sunday, Saturday for
Early Friday.
America. Yeah.
Very big for us. We were waiting for a while, and heck, I didn't believe that it was even coming out. And we were in the car. Josh,
Yes, you did. I told you it wasn't coming out like 4 times, and you were waiting for the
Yeah,
minute
that
to
is
drop.
very fair.
Okay,
Yeah, once-
let me set the record straight. how many releases got delayed before it actually came out?
About 6.
Yeah, about 6.
All 6 releases. Brandon's sitting there. What time are albums meant to drop? 2 p.m. for us?
2, 3 p.m.
So Brandon's sitting there 1:55 waiting for the second it hits 2 thinking it's going to drop. And I said every single time, this shit's not coming out until it's out. Like, this album is constipated.
Yeah.
And he fell for it every time. So to sit here and say you didn't think it was coming out is a bold-faced lie.
No, I'll tell you why I said that, because it was Saturday and it was meant to drop on a Friday. So we were driving, we were on
We
the
had
way.
plans. We were heading out for a few
We were
bevies.
on the way to our plans, Saturday night plans, and in the car, Josh goes, "Oh, the album's dropped," and I thought he was just joking with me. True enough,
It was there.
It was
boys.
there, so
it was there.
part of my comment was it wasn't on the day that I thought it would. I really didn't believe it was dropping that day, and it dropped. Not only did it drop, but it dropped in almost the full track list that he promoted.
What a special moment that was.
Yeah, with apart from the main track, Everybody, which a lot of people were looking for. Good
Phil
news
included.
is he is dropping 3 sort of the 3 versions. So we're hoping Everybody, which is the Charlie Wilson,
My boy Charlie Wilson.
Charlie Wilson sampled song.
And he's,
Charlie,
I think
last name
today
Wilson.
Said or gave an announced date for the same day as Rolling Loud.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think that's
Probably
like
not.
March 8th or something.
So yeah, exciting stuff in that world, in the rap world. He definitely rejuvenated, in my opinion, the rap game. It's been a bit dead lately. It's one of the.
Oh, no, 21 dropped this year.
That's
and
pretty disrespectful.
Yeah.
I mean,
You might be giving
but
a brother a little bit too much credit there.
even last year, if you look at last year, 21 and Drake they killed it last year. So 21 and Drake's always there on a yearly
Utopia dropped
basis.
last year.
Travis Scott, like when Travis Scott drops, there's a few people who you always give, like, when he drops, Travis Scott's not gonna not have a number 1 album sort of thing. But when you look at the rap genre in general, Lil Uzi's album didn't do well. A lot of the
That was
other
number 1.
rappers,
Yeah.
for a very short amount of time though.
Yeah, after its first weeks, did enough for units to be
Which-
number 1.
For Lil Uzi is not where it needs to be.
I think you're trying to give Kanye too much credit right now.
And to be fair, Kanye is projected for about 140k copies, which is great because he missed a full day of sales, was taken off a bunch of streams, and he'll probably still be number 1, if not number 2, which is a great effort.
It's amazing, but for me, I think last year Utopia was the first album that went number 1, a rap album that went number 1 in the year, which is the first year that's been the case, and it was quite later on in the year. I think Utopia dropped halfway through the year, if anything. That to me says a lot about when Kanye drops this year. Obviously, early on in the year, he's already has the first number 1 rap album of the year. So maybe I'm giving him a bit more credit, but judging off last year, which was a bad year for rap, I think that's commendable on Kanye's behalf.
I think a lot of albums last year didn't go number 1 because Taylor Swift dropped 2 albums,
It's fair.
which, like, love or hate her, she will go number 1 whenever she wants. So she always tends to block the charts, where right now, I think Kanye's really got no competition album-wise, especially that last week.
Yeah, well, just wanted to make sure that we announced that it's out.
Very good album.
It's a very
There's
good
like
album.
a 5-track run there, which just slaps. Otherwise, just some good filler. Not too long. Bit of everything for everybody.
It's
Wow.
Kanye has a high bar, so in terms of a Kanye album, it's not the greatest at all, but it's still a good album. It's like you're not gonna even put it in a greatest album.
Oh no, as a whole, not at all.
Yeah.
But there's 3 or 4 songs there where like it's just on replay. Like they're
100%.
insanely catchy. And I think Burn is one of the best songs I've heard in a long time.
I want to switch gears a little bit now, and this is going to lead into a bit of a more personal question, but I want to kind of get our thinking sort of aligned with this. There has been a new dating app that's come out, and I can't remember
Are
what
you
name it
familiar?
is. I can't remember what name it is, no. But this new dating app, it's called sort of like a Tinder sort of an app, but on this app, it asks people's credit scores to be published. So you publish your credit scores. In other words, you're sort of telling people, A, how good you are with money, B, how much money you have, that sort of a thing.
Or I'm dumb as hell.
Sorry?
Like, or you're saying the opposite. Like, you might not have any money.
Yeah. I mean, not having money doesn't make you
That was
dumb,
a
though.
crazy statement.
Yeah, not having money doesn't make
So
you
I can't
dumb.
relate. No, not at all. But, like, it's a pretty weird question to ask on a dating app.
That's where I was going is A, I think it's weird personally, but B, do you think it's something that is important in dating like nowadays? Is there a reason they've added it into the software for a dating app?
I can't think of anything like positive about that question.
Mm.
Like, it's already a very toxic way to go about your love life through apps. So adding that question, I think, is gonna either deter a lot of people away from you as a person, or bring a lot of fake people onto you as a person. Depends what you do for a living.
It's a tricky one because essentially the idea of I once heard a comparison that I can't even remember the analogy, but like when you're in an environment like a dating app, you're trying to put yourself in a position where you're surrounded by as many potential candidates as possible. So from that perspective, for someone that's looking for, quote, someone financially stable, and if they're looking for a long-term thing, I guess it narrows that bridge a little bit more. But there's so many more valuable traits than your credit score, and a lot better ways to find that out than just sending the number to somebody about what's in your bank
It's
account.
a
or your
weird
network.
thing, like
Yeah,
just
I
to put
don't know
that
how I
on your
feel about
account. Like, even like
I understand what
Discussing
they're
it.
trying to do, but I think it's a pretty
that's what
poor
I
attempt.
mean.
I watched, I don't know if it was I think it was a Black Mirror episode.
Sounds like some Black Mirror
Maybe
shit.
it was a Black Mirror episode where people's like money, or people's money was sort of displayed above their heads.
I've seen is that the one on TikTok where you can like give them a like or a dislike?
Yeah, I've seen that on TikTok.
Maybe.
And it's always got like a baking video underneath.
Maybe, but
With
I
that
think
song.
Black Mirror had a similar concept where it was people's money is displayed above their heads, like in a a dystopian future, and
Sheesh.
people would treat you differently based on the number you
They
had
really do.
above your head. And like, to me, that ties in with something that this dating app's trying to do. Is, do you reckon, like, someone who's might be subjectively or maybe objectively good looking, who might not have a lot of money, would that discount them in terms of finding a partner or a date?
Depends on the person that's looking at it.
Yeah,
It's
I don't,
very possible that someone values that above all and is quite superficial,
Yeah.
or thinks that that's what they're looking for with a partner, to have kids with, all that stuff.
like, definitely people out there that are looking for that type of thing. But personally, like, that's something that comes later. Like,
I think the positive to it, if it is two people that value that above everything else and they meet each other, it's less likely they meet someone that's not about that.
Yeah.
And like that app, if that's the niche of the app, you're not going on it unless that's kind of
What you're looking for.
yeah. So I guess it groups all those people together, which could be beneficial for them if they're struggling. But I mean, I don't see how that's a healthy start to dating.
Are you guys on the app personally?
I don't even know what it's called. I saw the article itself.
Yeah, I can't say
Yeah.
on it.
I feel like right now it's an America only, or America Canada sort of only app. I just think it's dangerous. I think in a world where the dating landscape's changing a lot, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, I don't think that's changing the dating landscape for any better. I think you're really moving away in a society where Instagram and social media is massive, and a lot of what you see on social media, we know, is not truth. You're adding another whole layer on top of that, which is basing somebody's, or your attraction to somebody, based on a monetary numbers value versus what the actual person is.
Weird. Like, just get to know them as a person first.
100%.
And then that conversation comes later when you feel comfortable with someone you
100%.
trust. Which, it's like, have you seen the dating app for like celebrities only? Like, you need 100,000 Instagram followers
I've
to
heard
sign
about
up.
that, but I've never.
It's like a real app. Like, you have to link your Instagram, and you have to have over 100k followers for it to be approved.
Wow.
It's like a celebrity dating app. And like, I think Ben Affleck was on there for a while. He was like the biggest name. But like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Look,
Just go meet people.
I would feel. I mean, it's not an app that, even if I was wanting to be on an app like that, it's not an app that I would be on. Regardless if I had millions in my account, it's not something that I would want to just kind of promote to people.
Yeah, like I don't have any problem with dating apps. I don't
Yeah.
use any. I've never used one, but I don't have an issue with it. If that's what works, like, go for it. But I think one with that particular niche, I don't see that being successful or useful, really.
On the topic of money, and changing gears one more time, maybe taking it back now
Yeah.
a little bit more vulnerable.
Put it back in a fourth.
Yeah, well, yeah. I want you guys to kind of think about this, before you answer. What to you? Paint me a picture of what success looks like to you. What does, if someone says, "Hey Phil, hey Josh, what does success look
That's
like?
a big question just
to
to
you?
whip out.
Yeah, I mean, but I kind of want to get your idea of it. Is what does success look like to you guys?
Flexibility,
Yeah.
financial freedom, the ability to take my life wherever I want in the world and it not be a compromise or a sacrifice. It's a hard one to answer because it's like it's not all about money, but a lot of the stuff that you want to do in life comes down to that.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
I think having that kind of having those kind of assets to fall back onto where I can do that. I mean, like, I was saying it to one of you guys. Was it one of you guys the other day? I said to someone the other day, with like the shit that I'm doing now and that I've got planned for the next few years. Like I've basically written off my 20s, but for me, it's because I've got the goal that from 30 onwards, I can live that life where I can travel. Don't want to work full time, ideally. And to me, it's a hard one to measure success because I want to be able to do all the things that I like doing without any financial stress.
I've also had a very similar sort of broad picture to success, in the fact that like I don't want to be in my
Yeah, it is very broad. I
yeah
can't get more specific without more thought.
I don't want to be in my late 30s feeling like I have to work a full-time job. Granted, I would probably, knowing my personality, I'd probably still work to some degree. But having the flexibility to know that I could not work for a month full-time and my family can still continue their lives at a very high, comfortable level, that to me is my definition of success. And I have what I call a materialistic perspective and a intangible perspective. And the materialistic stuff is easy. That's like driving a nice car, buying a nice watch, and owning multiple properties and a yacht, all that stuff that comes with being successful monetary wise. But the other side of it for me is not only giving my kids a good life, which is one of my biggest goals, not only hopefully one day retiring my parents and being able to look at them and say, hey, you guys don't have to work another day in your life. You can go and travel the world. But the other thing is for my wife and the person who I built a family with to be able to pursue something that she's passionate about, regardless of whether that passion makes money or not. And for her to know that if it fails, it fails. That's good. It's not going to affect my family. It's not going to affect my living standard because I'm just going to try something that I'm passionate about.
I'm glad they brought up family because I think like that's a given to me. Like that's always the number one. I think one thing I didn't touch on for me, it's having myself attached to something that grows and I don't know if has an impact is the right word, something significant, knowing that I built it up.
Nice.
Whether it be like obviously with the business that I'm partnered up with Sam for, and then like even her starting the fund on the side of it. If something like this ever turns into anything, I think that's the ultimate reward, is if you ever build something up yourself and you get to see something that you started growing to its maximum potential. That's not the full idea of success, but I think that's an element of it. If I get it that way, it feels like I've earned it a lot more.
100%. What about you, Joshua?
What did you say like the car and the watch stuff was? Like
To me, that's materialistic stuff, which comes and goes, but materialism is like short-term happiness.
Yeah.
After a while, you look at your watch and go, oh, I need a new one, sort of thing.
Because I'm like that. Like that stuff there, I'm not really focused on long-term. That's more like, if you can do it now, like why not? But long-term, not really too fussed on stuff like that. Like I wouldn't categorize that as what I would think is successful. Personally, it is more like back on like mental health and like feeling comfortable mentally. Like obviously, like Phil said, you don't want to put everything as like your salary and your money, like how much money you're earning. But it's always in the back of your head, like you want to be earning enough that you feel comfortable. But like if you're earning enough to feel comfortable and you're also mentally present in the moment and enjoying what you're doing, I think it's a good combination. And obviously setting up your family, your future, and those around you is important. Obviously, you can go much deeper than that. But more like just being like not mentally stressed, waking up day to day, feeling like I'd struggle to get through 12 hours of work. Like you want to enjoy what you're doing no matter how much you're getting paid. And then if you're getting paid comfortably, you'll take that on top because you can live through maybe an under salary, but you enjoy what you're doing. So I just think more like the mental stuff, like just being present, being comfortable, and not like having those extra things on top of your head, which can cause stress and anxiety over time, especially long term. Like you get those things every day, but you shouldn't wake up every morning going, holy moly, this is my job. Why am I freaking out? So I guess if you got a partner as well, like you'd probably both have a job, making sure they both work toe and toe together.
Yeah. The mental side of success is big, actually. Like I've actually not, I'm one to be quite, and if I'm getting quite vulnerable, I'm quite disconnected from my emotions and the mental side of things. But I'm very happy you touched on it, because that I tend to often overlook how important the mental happiness, and just not even happiness, but mental satisfaction is.
Something like I've tried this year to be kind of more in touch with. Like I'm not doing anything crazy job wise right now. It's just like I'm quite young, just money to get me through and a job to get me through. But there's been times where I've had to like step back and go like, it's not the end of the world. Like I need to stop putting this pressure on myself. I like sell hats for a living right now. Like there's more to me in this world than my job currently. Like the world's not going to end if I have a one poor morning, one poor afternoon. And like my friends, family, and my outside of work life is definitely more important right now than worrying about my job 24/7, especially outside of work hours.
Yeah. Well, yeah, more comes into it, into the, you know, like it's the term of success than monetary. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to, you know, ask you guys, but for the people listening, kind of, it's a question that I don't know if you guys think about it much, but I want to encourage you to think about it, because at some point, in my opinion, everyone's at a different point in their life, whether it's your your quarter life crisis, as they call it, or maybe a midlife crisis, you tend to ask yourself the question, which is, have I reached my own definition of success?
I'm in my quarter life crisis.
Are you?
I reckon. I'm getting there.
The world's crumbling down on you, Josh.
On 23
years old.
Fighting for my life.
You got a mortgage or two on your head, mate.
No, I've made it a big goal this year to really like lock in and focus on some things long term. So we're on the move. Bought a MacBook. So now I'm spent a lot of money on a computer. I have
now
to use,
you're legit, bro.
It's a good first step. Now it's trying to get some book classes and some bookings and stuff like that. So let's hustle, boys.
I think my message on that topic before we wrap up that part of it is, don't let other people's definition of success define your success. We live in a
society.
We live in a very modern society where it's super easy to compare yourself and your life to other people, and I'm victim to it. We all are. You open up a social media app, and the first thing you do is, oh, that person is doing XYZ, and they're on this holiday, and they have drive this car, and you know, all of this stuff. But that makes it so easy to compare their life and their successes, in quotation marks,
as well, which
to
is crazy to compare people. And even if you're doing well, for no reason, there's going to be people that are like hating on you and trying to bring
100%.
you down. So
100%.
Just got to stick to yourself, really.
Josh, you've hit the nail on the head. You have to stick to yourself, and as easier, I know it's easier said than done, but I think one of my favorite quotes is, comparison is the
thief of joy.
Comparison is the thief of joy. Ooh. If you can learn to not compare yourself and just be grateful for what you have, but B, set your sights on things that you might not have and want to achieve, you're setting yourself up for a way more successful future than you can by comparing yourself.
Love yours.
100%, man. Love yours. Shout out the J. Cole songs. Love yours, man. That one of the most powerful songs.
Shout out J. Cole for the second time this episode.
For sure, friend of the show.
He has a few lines in that song where he goes, I think one of my favorite lines is, always going to be a crib that's bigger than the ones you got. Always going to be, it's always going to be a watch that's better than yours. Always going to be a crib that's bigger than the one you got, but you're never going to appreciate it till you love yours. I'm paraphrasing, but that's sort of the vibe to it.
I mean, the hook says it all. Ain't no such thing as a life that's better than yours.
Ain't no such thing, man.
You're a pro, baby. Be gentle.
Different song.
Different song, but
still applies.
We know where your head's at, Joshua.
You're a pro. What you do?
Coming after Valentine's Day. Yook, do you think, leading on from that, maybe a bit more shallow question, but have you guys reached your peak?
Hell no.
Hell no.
I better not
Bro,
have.
we're like younglings.
I better not have.
Hell no.
Hell no.
If I peaked with the shit that I've bit off for the next 5 years, I've made a very poor decision.
Kind of, yeah, I'm with you. I think we're just entering the beginning stages, really.
I'm a rookie, technically, so I'm not even close to peaking.
Not near your prime.
No.
Yeah, no, there's no way. I don't. My mentality heading into this year was to not leave any stones unturned with the things that I've always wanted to try and achieve. After like years of settling for mediocrity, because if we're being vulnerable, I was definitely surrounded by people in my life before that didn't let me feel like I'd be capable of more than average. So that as like a mentality reset for this year was a big focus. And it's led to me biting off a lot. Maybe more than I can chew, some might say.
I disagree with that, but continue.
I mean, I'm a student. I got placement, which is a full-time job. I got 2 day jobs that I'm essentially out 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I've started my career before I finish my degree, which is another job in the evenings. I've started a business.
You do keep yourself busy, son.
And then I've got this. And on top of all that, I've got a dog to raise now, which like...
A child, even, if you will.
I mean, I don't want to be that person. I'm not like, I would never compare raising a dog to a baby. It's nowhere near as hard. But at the end of the day, it's a dependent and another responsibility.
It's a life you got to take care of. Like, that's fair.
And then on top of all that, I got to find time to do things I enjoy. I got to still play ball to stay sane. I've sacrificed so much of my health with eating and training for a time's sake, so I got to get back on that. So I say all that to say...
You got to fit a lady in there somewhere sometime.
Well, I say all that to say... You touched on the mental aspect of it before. If I'm being honest, I'm quite prepared for that to be very lonely. I've accepted that.
Don't do that.
That something's got to give.
Yeah, you have to understand also that to be the most successful person we've spoken about, you have to be a bit of a narcissist. And sometimes that is focusing on only yourself.
Yeah, man, I don't want to call myself that at all. I've met narcissists, brother. I am not like them.
Friend of the pod.
Definitely not a friend of the pod. That got me good. Nah, it's just... It's more so like being the best version of myself to set myself up for success, but you've also got to be the best version of yourself for others. And I think that's like something's got to give, and that definitely takes it. And it's not like I'm not closed off to it at all. Like if and when, bring it in. But like, I just know the first half of this year is going to be a grind.
Yeah.
And a struggle.
Well, you sacrifice now for a much, much bigger long-term success.
Exactly. And that's why, like, to circle all the way back to the question, if I'm copping all that, there's no way I'm letting this be my peak. I'm not putting myself... And, like, this is just this year. That was end of last year. That was the shit I went through before that. And then there's the next 5 years that I got to do, at least. Like, I'm setting myself up for a lot of shit on my plate. So there's no way I'm accepting this being my peak if I'm putting all that in.
I think it's important we, in our age, and if anyone listening to the podcast who is in this age group of 20, 21, 22, 23, that sort of time of their life, it's important you ask yourself this question. But at the same time, it's important that you don't feel pressure to have an answer. But it's important you ask yourself the question.
Yeah, like at least have it in your head.
100%.
Like there's so many things right now that I'm unsure of and have a 100% definite answer to, which was going to lead me to a question I had for you too. Could be for the viewers, could be personal. I'll never reveal it. But what would your advice be for like just putting your foot in and actually like one of these new, like starting something new for the first time? Because obviously everyone's got goals and wants to achieve something, but actually doing it and starting it.
How can someone go about it?
Yeah, like there's like right now there's things where it's like, oh, I want to do this, but it's like, fuck, I don't want to start it. Like I don't want to commit to it, but I know I need to.
Mentors are a big part of it. You need to surround yourself with people that have more life experience, people that are successful, and people that can see your potential. Or I would say I'm surrounded by people that think I'm more capable than I am. Like between my sister Sam, the support from you guys, even like my guy Matt from the gym, who like I always say, trainer slash mentor slash friend slash boss slash therapist. Like, these people think I'm capable of anything I put my mind to. I don't feel like that all the time. So I think if you're lucky enough to meet people like that and accept help, take advantage of your situation. If you have advantages, there's nothing wrong with it. I would not be able to do any of the shit I'm doing without the support system I have around me. And that was like almost a thing to feel shameful of, because it's like you almost feel guilty for having advantages that people don't. But it's even worse if you waste that potential rather than using it to,
I agree,
hopefully impact other people. So yeah, circle it back. Mentors, life experience. If you need inspiration, nothing better than traveling. Get out your hometown, go to another city, go overseas, move cities if you're really feeling that burnt out.
Fine.
Like, my answer is very similar to Phil's. A lot of you guys know the way, if I'm answering honestly to your question, which is a really good question, I'm a man of religion, and for me, my religion's a big part of it. And very similar to Phil's thing is for me, when you ask how do you start it, the thing I tell myself is, if I do my best, God will do the rest. And if it's meant to be, it will be. Similar to Phil's thing is, if it's meant to be, you'll find yourself surrounded by people who are in your camp and will help you reach that goal. And whether that's you want to attribute it to God or to the universe, or maybe to even yourself, who is surrounding yourself with the right people, if your goal is meant to be your goal for your life, it will happen. It's like starting an assignment, in my opinion. As soon as you start the introduction, the entire assessment flows.
Yeah, that's why I asked. Like, I know, like, it's just stuff where it's like, I know once I actually get going, it'll be like, oh, it's just easy. I can flow through it.
My biggest advice to you, bro, is back yourself and know that genuinely, if it's meant to be, it'll happen. And if it's not meant to be, it's just a learning process. Like I'm not successful. We're not successful yet. We've tried a bunch of things that have failed, but through the failing, either, hey, I have a dying passion for this, I'm gonna try it again, or I've actually learned through the failure that it's not a passion, and I'm gonna retry, or maybe refocus and try something else that I might have a passion for. But from a religious standpoint, which is very similar to what Phil said, but it's my big thing is, and I say to myself, I say to everyone, is if you try your best, God will do the rest. And if it's meant to be, it'll fall into place. But you have to really believe in what you're doing and just back yourself at all times. And failure is part of it. No successful person, man, has been successful without failure.
That is so true. I need to accept that.
If I can add to that as well, find what motivates you. Like I always say, my two biggest motivators, number one is fear of failure, and that's a slippery slope because that shit keeps me up at night. I can't tell you, like I've had countless nights where I stay up all night, just think about how much I'm going to mess shit up, which I'm not if I do the right things, but that's still, and that drives me to do the right things, but it's still, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. And then the other thing for me is proving people wrong. So like I said, I've spent a lot of time around people that didn't think I could do anything, and I haven't done anything yet. I'm trying to set myself up to. But it's like, if I can turn around one day and know that like what people told me had no effect on what I think about myself. You got
the potential to do it, yeah.
And that's the ultimate. So I think, on top of what I said before, find ways to motivate yourself. Maintain perspective too. Like, we sort of touched on before, it is easy to get caught up, and like, we all do it. We're 22. Like, I think I'm behind sometimes because I wasted the first 4 years of my adult life doing absolutely nothing to better myself. Except for study, obviously. That was a commitment. But like, I often feel like I wasted 4 years, and I'm like, man, if I started this at 18, I'd be good now. Yeah. But there's no reason to think like that.
If I bought a house in grade 4, bro.
Man, if I bought a house in grade 4.
If I bought land in grade 4 instead of fluffing around making fucking Jenga blocks, bro.
2002, while I was in diapers.
Look, switching it up now to a bit of a more lighter note.
Yeah, let's go. New topic.
I don't know if you know Phil. I mean, you do know. And for those who are listening, I don't want to say Josh's house has a spider infestation.
Do not show me videos
no,
of spiders.
Not the house. There's just one spider.
So there's a spider or two that hang around Josh's house. And
we've got a big hedge on the
A big
outside of our
hedge.
driveway,
And we're
and he
known
lives in there.
We're known for leaving the house, and there've been these massive spiders, and it's become this bit of a joke. Like, oh, every time we come to Josh's house, there's a massive spider. Whatever.
Only when you guys come, this spider is chilling in the public view.
Do you think it has something to do with the massive web that goes all the way from the pillar to the hedge?
But
and
then, like, you'll
from the
leave and
pillar
it's
to the front
there. I'm
garden?
like, fuck, I'll get rid of it in the morning. And I wake up and there's nothing there.
So-
I'm like, oh, he's migrated. Oh, he's gone somewhere else.
What I'm gonna do is we're gonna right now in the editing, we're gonna put the same video that I'm about to show Phil right now, right? Prior to Phil coming,
Unrelated
this
to the
evening-
last conversation we just had.
yeah, prior to Phil coming this evening, I went to the bathroom, and I'm gonna pop up the video here. We're gonna pop it up so you
Yeah, the
guys can
same
watch
thing
it
Phil's watching, you'll be able to watch on the screen as
in
well.
real time. But I'm gonna show Phil what I experienced today.
Just before we show him, a bit of context. Brandon and I were here a little bit earlier. Phil's come straight from prior commitments. So we've all seen this, including Aaron, who's on the editing software. But Phil has no idea what we're at the show.
This is the first time Phil's about to see
live
this,
reaction.
and you guys are gonna watch it at the same time as Phil. So I'm gonna play it, and if all goes well, you guys will see it at the same time as Phil sees it.
Just give him
But
the iPad.
I just want to show you guys. This is what I saw about 30 minutes before us starting.
This is
recording
about like
podcast.
40 minutes ago, like fresh off the press.
You want to press play there, Phil, for me?
Oh god! All right, someone talk while I watch this,
All right,
so
so
we don't have any
Phil's-
dead air.
About to watch play.
Take a piss.
Hold on, let me mute this because we can put the audio on the when Aaron edits it, so it's a bit more clear.
So this is,
I'm not watching that. I am not
Please watch
watching
it.
that.
I'll describe
Please watch it.
I'll read
Phil,
it out.
please watch it.
I'll
Please
do
watch
the
it. Please watch it.
Please watch.
I'm.
Please watch
You have
it.
to. It's a commitment.
Does it jump off?
No.
no.
I'm not watching that shit, bro. Take that away from me.
I'll describe it to the viewers.
Okay.
They're gonna see it themselves.
Yeah, you guys will see the video that I just showed Phil that he's very anti-watching right now.
Well,
I'm not watching that, bro.
I'll
Do not
describe
show
it
me.
and then we'll put the video up after my description. So they
Yeah,
can-
it would already be up.
I reckon just sync it up with when I
Ooh.
watched it.
It would already be up.
no, yeah, it looks crazy on the iPad.
So what you guys just saw is my reaction to getting to the bathroom, and as I walked into the bathroom, this creature
Good
was sitting
quality.
on the wall, man.
Like that big.
It was palm
Fist
size.
size.
It was
Oh,
easily
lordy.
palm size. And heck, bro, it was just the fact that was there at the same time that we've been talking about it. I have arachnophobia, and I'm not even scared to admit it. I cannot stand spiders. I can't stand see. Josh is showing us the screenshot of me like looking at the
That's
spider.
thumbnal material.
The best part of the
Write that
video
down.
is when he accidentally flips the camera in the last 2 seconds and is Brandon gobsmacked with his mouth wide open.
So that was
That'll
not
do
planned.
numbers.
But it was. I have arachnophobia, and going to the bathroom and seeing that genuinely shocked me. I just want to show you that in person to let you know that stuff like this exists
I wish
around,
you didn't.
around this
We almost
neighborhood.
died again, but thank God.
Title. We almost died part
Shout
2.
out to the editor Aaron, who just swiftly came in without a doubt.
Aaron came in with a Yeezy boost on and
Stomped
smacked
the hell out
smacked
of
the
that.
shit out of this spider.
Smacked it. Oh, you do have the video of it running away?
I do, but
I don't wanna watch any more spider videos.
I won't
Well.
put that
Aaron
up
went
there.
to smack the spider, missed the first go, and it just sprinted to the right.
Man, I hate
You can
that.
hear me and Hate, my brother in the background, running away. Brandon's not far behind.
So if all works, you guys would see what Phil just refused to watch. But
Just, yeah, like,
quite a traumatic experience.
if
in the
you're
Dacey
scared of
household.
spiders, skip 40 seconds to the future, because you will not like that.
Did you guys see Dana White? Did you guys know Howie Mandel?
Yeah, are you talking about the podcast?
Yes.
Was that not a skit?
I did not see anything about it being a skit.
I have no idea what this is.
So Dana White sat down for Howie Mandel's pod. Said, "Thank you so much for coming. It's a pleasure to have you as a guest."
Did a whole
well,
blurb about how much grateful he was about Dana White.
How
he walked
successful he
out.
is, and then Dana White says, "Yeah, thank you. I'm done with podcasts."
And just
He
walks
gets up
out.
and leaves.
He just gets up and walks out.
That seems well. I don't think the full episode's come out yet. I think it might just be like a marketing pull.
It's very. I watch a lot of Dana White, and I feel like
You know him,
I know his
Uncle
character.
Dana, friend of the show.
Based on what people,
Mr. White.
media is fake. I get it, but it seemed very out of character for Dana White to do that. He doesn't do shit like that.
Well, yeah, that's why it made headlines.
So
Is this the guy that owns the UFC or
yeah,
whatever?
the UFC on it, Dana White.
That's so weird.
What would you do if we had a guest and they just came, sat down for 30 seconds, literally 30 seconds, and walked out?
I
Have we
consider
paid
walking
them
out every
before
week.
this? Have we paid them prior to the pod?
Well,
Or
we probably
Probably.
had some sort of contract or agreement in place. Yeah.
I'd be pretty pissed off.
Can you imagine?
Imagine if we had bloody Russ Eats sitting on the pod
Russ Eats.
and we talk about the hot cross buns that's just launched and he gets up and walks off.
Oh,
I wouldn't
bro.
be mad.
Have you seen those? Last year, they had those Coles used to make those burger flavored chips like
Sure.
crisps.
I haven't seen it, but
They made that like burger flavored hot cross buns.
Mate, let me
that sounds like dog shit.
let me
It
blow
is
your mind.
disgusting.
They did like special burger sauce hot cross buns. They've done like barbecue shape hot cross buns. They've done Vegemite. The only good one that's come out this season has been the caramel one, and even then it just tastes like chocolate on bread. Like, just go buy chocolate on bread.
I don't know why. Sometimes it's best the less is better, and simplistic stuff just works. You don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Crazy.
What are you guys' thoughts on? Speaking about reinventing the wheel, are there more wheels or doors in the world?
Shout out to Samuel Dunn for that question submission on Instagram.
Appreciate it.
Are there more doors or wheels?
He runs the Point Made Basketball Twitter account. I just want to shout that out. That's at Point Made B-Ball. So if you like NBA draft analysis, that's the spot to go. They've also got a website and a blog. They what?
You can win a lot of money through their betting tips.
Yeah, right.
They're very good with their tips and their fantasy and their draft stuff like that.
Yep.
Very useful.
Good guy.
Unofficial sponsor of the pod.
More wheels or doors. I'm a man that likes answers. You have your iPad. Can you Google if there's a definitive answer to this?
Before we get a definitive answer, me and Brandon revealed our thoughts before the pod. We disagree, which is what a surprise.
I'll probably go doors.
Yes.
Who would have thought? I have the same answer as Phil.
After more thought, my initial answer was wheels, but after more thought, I think like if you just think of a house per se. Like, a house would have, at an average, 2 cars, which is 8 wheels. But there's definitely more than 8 doors in a house.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, like this house right here, I'm just trying to go through it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. If you think of the biggest door to minimal wheel ratio... God, this is such a bro podcast. If you think of the biggest door to, like, little wheel ratio, it'd probably be like a skyscraper, right?
But, like...
Whereas, like, a lot of wheels to no doors... would be like, aside from like a car yard, you're thinking like, what, an 18-wheeler that's got like 2 doors at the front. The discrepancy's nowhere near as big.
One apartment building is what?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, like even
but then there's wheels on chairs. Shit.
But like even a car, like there's 4 wheels on most cars. I said I would count the boot as a door.
Yeah, they're technically 5 doors, but there's a spare wheel.
That's true.
God.
If we're looking at Google, and I'm looking at just the first thing that pops up on Google, like the first little box that pops up, verbatim, if you count the wheels on everything from toy vehicles and vacuum cleaners to office chairs, there are more wheels than doors in the world.
I was right at first.
Aaron reckons he was right at first. He reckons he calls that.
Because that is fair. Because you know the biggest manufacturer of tires in the world is Lego.
Really?
Seriously.
You know, do you know why Michelin does restaurant reviews?
I've always wondered
I
this.
only just learned that was the same brand.
Yeah, it's to encourage tourism. The idea is that you want to travel overseas to try this Michelin star restaurant, and then you need a rental car. And you're like, oh shit,
That's
they got Michelin.
crazy.
Yeah.
What
So I've
about?
heard. I could be
Is there
wrong.
more dogs or ants in the world?
Dogs or ants?
Ants for
Gotta be
sure,
ants,
dude.
right?
That's no brainer.
Can you Google that?
Like, how many ants are in the world? Can we Google that, please?
Have you seen the stat from like ants to people?
No.
No, I haven't. Have you seen an ant up close?
Yes.
Like under a microscope?
Bro,
or
that
like,
shit's worse than the spider. Yeah, microscope.
they are pretty ugly.
How many ants to humans? Just to give you a thing. Oh my gosh, there are 20 quadrillion ants worldwide,
Holy.
according to its census, or 2.5 million for every living human being. So for one of you, right now,
I could take them.
there is 7.5 million ants. Oh no, plus Aaron, you're looking at 9 million ants.
We could take them.
So you couldn't even if it was like a one-on-one battle, you wouldn't be able to fight
You're
it
not.
off.
You're not fighting him. No way.
Could one human beat what 2.5 million ants?
No way, Josh.
I could.
You can't
I
even
don't think
beat
you gu-
2,000 ants.
I don't think you guys could.
2 million ant. What are they?
I've
gonna, like,
memorized every combo from the first 2 Creed movies.
Look, that's
I'm
very
personally backing myself against 2 million ants. What are they going to do?
Bro, you're getting cooked.
What are they going to do? What kind of ants are they?
Bro, they're
Just like a little handful.
Have
Of,
you-
2.5 million.
Have you
Mate,
not
they're
seen
like
the
that
scene of
big.
Indiana
You ever
Jones?
seen like
I'm the biggest Indiana Jones defender.
The fire ant scene?
Yeah.
That's insane, and that's no way near 2 million ants.
Have
I
you
would
ever,
have
like-
protection gear on.
Have
They're
you
not
ever
coming
like
close to me, mate?
You ever left like a wrapper out and like ants come over and you're like, shit, that's a lot of ants.
Yeah, and I just get a fucking whoop.
Yeah, and that's like not even 50, and you're like, holy shit, that's a lot of ants.
I would
2.5
have
million?
like Batman with prep time. I'm not losing to these ants. I've got full protection gear, got a couple bottles of spray, and I've got some weaponry.
I still think you're underestimating the power of these ants, bro.
Mate, what the... Come on, if you're a listener and you're an ant, come to the pod next week.
An interesting question before we wrap up
Yeah.
that I want to ask you, and we were talking about it, not in depth, but how do you think languages start and end? For me,
Bro!
starting a language is more interesting than ending a language.
I think it's the opposite. A language die. I know. Everyone's just going to say that Latin died because it just became English. Why did we decide Latin wasn't good enough? And we're like, let's just make a language that's almost the same.
Latin didn't have words like dope and riz.
That came around a lot later.
How do you say Livy Dunn in Latin?
Livy done it. No,
Like, why did we have the word aurum and we're like, no, let's go gold?
I think laziness.
Lazy Town.
And
Shameless plug, by the way.
Yeah, shout out Orm's Day. I think it's just people getting lazy and just convenience.
You reckon this new generation doesn't work hard enough?
Well, probably.
Sigma. They're
I think
Sigmas.
our language,
Oh, Lord.
our English language itself is evolving. Like, and it's becoming more and more lazy. Like, the way we talk, I think our kids are going to be talking worse English than we currently talk, and our parents think we talk worse English than they talk. But my thing is, how do languages
And
start?
you know what's ironic about that? Our generation is probably better at communicating with each other than any previous
100%.
generations.
That is also
100%.
very true.
We just had a down-to-earth conversation as grown men. Our dads weren't doing that.
Would never do that.
So,
How do they start,
checkmate.
bro? How does a language start? How do you go, I'm going to make these sounds with my
I've
voice?
never ever thought
and
about
you
that.
know what it means.
I've
How-
never thought that ever.
I've got
No,
a better
But
question.
now I'm confused.
How difficult do you think it would be for us to officially start a stay grounded language where
Episode 50, we'll
it's
do a...
so unique, but the variety of the vocabulary is so big that we could actually communicate in it? And how would we get people to pick up on it? Would we have to go to conventions and sell it as a language?
You'd have to just start talking it and hope people
Would we have
What's
to
the
understand.
start a
most
cult?
recent language?
I'm down. Because
Whenever we're in Melbourne together, I think we should check out one of the museums of Scientology.
the only thing between a cult and a religion
been to
is
the one in
gatekeeping
New
the
York.
information.
I have heard that.
You told me that.
I sent you a screenshot off Google.
This is true.
I've got no opinion on the
Okay.
differences between the two.
Well, look, we're gonna leave you with that.
Okay, there's so
Leave-
many new languages I just googled. And
Yeah,
I've
I'm gonna-
never heard any of them.
I'm going to put the fans on blast for a second, with all due respect. For the
Yeah.
amount of messages we've got about how much everyone loves the episodes, 0 responses on the last one with the Spotify Q&A feature.
Come on, guys.
Please use it.
Guys,
Gives
if
us
you
content ideas.
If you listen on Spotify, while it's playing, click on it and scroll down. There's a little box you can type your thoughts in.
Yeah,
Dude,
so
you've got
after
an hour.
you've double-checked that you follow the show, after you've rated 5 stars, after you've gone on to Instagram and TikTok and liked every reel, and then gone to YouTube and subscribed and liked every video on short, once you've done all that, which shouldn't take you long at all, I've done it, then just submit a question.
Or on YouTube, the same thing. Comment. It's
Yeah.
easier. Obviously, no pressure, but we'd love to hear from you.
No,
Part of-
pressure. I'm applying pressure.
actually, pressure.
If you guys love the show, help us grow. With
And-
all due respect.
With your comments, with your feedback, that helps us. So, with that, I think let's wrap it up for this week, boys.
Yeah, I'm feeling a bathroom break coming, so...
I need a bathroom break as well, actually.
I need to go feed my dog.
So, look,
Shout out
thank
Johnny,
you
huh?
once again for tuning in for this week. I had a lot of fun this week.
Yeah, it was alright.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. Phil, as usual, did not really enjoy himself.
Never.
He's
I hate
looking
it
forward
here.
to going back to his newborn pup, Donnie.
My boy Donnie.
But look, as usual, this will come out on, you'll be seeing it on a Tuesday.
Tuesday
We hope the
morning.
editing and the video, everything goes well. All of you guys who are listening, have a great week. Have a blessed week. Hope it's all grateful and everything falls into your lap and everything you want comes to fruition. Stay safe out there.
Stay grounded.
Stay grounded. And
Shout out.
we'll see you in a week, as usual.
Yep.
It's Brandon.
It's Phil.
And it's Josh.
Take care. Take care and brush your hair. See you guys.
Bye.
Laters.
Let it